Hello Blender folks, welcome and welcome back. This is Gnomes. Several days and along this week I was unable to stream, but now we are back. And yes, I still have all the ongoing projects of continuing this rigged model template, Dorothy. You'll see here the main character for a sci-fi fantasy universe, world building stuff. So beyond this, I'll be doing world building like scenery, compositing, and props, whatever, assets, compositing for a certain manga, comics, ink, artwork compositing style, right? That I've been exploring this for, again, a new approach on 3D web comics. So instead not with colors, but with grayscale. And I think this will an interesting approach. I don't know, it's something I wanted to do, and it's the fact that it becomes I don't have the compositing set up here. I will pretty much wait Blender to be not wait, but I really would like to have Blender 5.0 here, 5, right? Blender 5 will bring lots of change and improvements to the compositing facilities in Blender, so we'll have like compositor assets. Yeah, the node setup of the compositing, the node tree, this can be an asset. Currently we can't do this, it's very poor. We need to do a group, which is I don't like, but yeah, it's an alternative to have like a batch this thing, but it will be improved. And unfortunately I don't think it will be back in retroactive to this LTS version. Yeah, so these upgrades take time. Unfortunately, so need to be patient. Blender has been getting better and better, right, folks? So here is my plan list here for these upgrades on this rig model template. So I need to rush this thing and get close to final expressions of the facial rig. Oh yeah, so there's very important thing I think I'll do today. I have energy after a little while doing some garbage thing out there, but now not related to CG art. Yeah, so now I have to life problems. So here now we got yeah, I'm gonna have to reshape the rest position of the eyelids. There is an experiment, but I won't do for this character. Let's not for now, not for the stream. Something I want to do at some point, but I want to see if that's true, if that will work. Maybe it will be very good for my style. It will employ some anatomic shape key for the eye hole. You know, the contour of the eye hole, right? The eye cavity, the contour of the eye cavity. So it's not the contour of the eye, of the eyelids. This one, except for the eyelash, it's much easier to rig. Because in the character design, you see, I have this very sharp angle, but I've decided not to place this is the rest position, right? Binding pose state for the mesh. And you see I have the eyelashes meshes. They are inside this mesh object of the face of the character. Of the body, right? The head is not separated from the body, but maybe if I'm using facial rig with shape keys, it's not my case, that will be very important to separate the face, so you can still have the mirror modifier for the body, right? After all, it's not so complicated to do the separations, but it's better to have already the waves ready. Otherwise it can be painful to re-wave paint in synchronization and probably we also need some sort of data transfer modifier to some solution for the normals, otherwise you can end up with a seam, but here is not the problem. All right, so here yeah, so this is just texture problem here that I need to revise, but this is not important. So the experiment this I'm gonna do pretty soon because it's more and more sticking my attention. Actually, there are two experiments, but some guys, maybe you've checked Blender Conference 2025, 2 weeks ago, I think. Then, yeah, not this week that is ending, but last week, right? And so some guys were doing some, I think they are from Blender Studio. The name of the, yeah, sorry, I can't find it. There's some cartoony character they were rigging, and they proposed an almond eye. I'm not sure this it's a eye hole basis also for the mouth. I doubt this will be good for the mouth because here I have the Universal Sonic Mouth Rig solution, which I think is more regular because it is straight. But then I was having problems with the rounded shape. I solved it with a helper bone or helper, yeah, lips corner helper bone that is automated, and also we can also pose its control bone on top of the automation. So it's like a, and here is a, so we can manually make the rounded shape of the mouth, thanks to the fact that maybe it's not necessary, but it helps, I think. Also because of the fact that the mouth contains bendy bones, and the lips is made out of bendy bone splines. And then also to solve the pinching of the lips corners, because it's a, really, here is a, what we've got is a, what kind of angle is that between the, it's crazy, like it's a 360 degrees angle. So for the lip corner, if you try to, yeah, it's a zero angle, right? Almost basically a zero angle there. And so that means that this will pinch naturally when skinning. So this is why with the bendy bones we can, well, it could be regular deformed bones, but you push this, it would be better if I just get the armature here. So I can get here, for example, let's get some, yeah, so here we got, yeah, all the bones here says met. So here's this big mechanism bendy bone spline. Then we have the lower one. Need to improve, yeah, all the bones here are mixed. And here is the tweaker bone for, you see? So this is a helper bone. Actually, this is a controller bone in the control rig. This is a deformed bone that is working like a buffer bone for this bone. No, sorry, not a buffer bone. It's actually, yeah, it's just no buffer bone here. It could be, wait, this is the buffer bone. Okay, so there are 3 bones here. The deformed bone, which parented to the buffer bone. The buffer bone follows the shrink wrap bone constraint to the proxy mesh, which is invisible. It's the dummy model, right? Yeah, I have it for the whole face or almost for, but it's not necessary. Maybe you can keep it. I'm not using the upper part for the upper, yeah, I'm not using anything there for the eye, so it's more for the, and here it needs to be closed. Yeah, it's closed. So this is the target of the shrink wrap bone constraint in this case. So this one has a shrink wrap, and this is just copy fake parenting, smoother relations. Watch editing. Picsou, welcome Picsou. Ah, this is the, looks like the name of one character of Disney, the duck. Not sure if it was in French. What are you doing? Welcome Picsou. So this is, I'm here doing just rigging, right? Character rigging, stylized cartoon rigging, this one. I'm trying to, and I'm explaining some of features of my rig as I do this, particularly mount rigging here, right? And how I fix the, without corrective shape key, how I'm building this mount rig with bendy bone splines and with the universal sonic mount setup, and combine with these helper bones for the yeah, probably some things I need to improve here, but anyways, this is not rotated. Okay, here, so you see we can get pretty much quite rounded shape, and I'm not even using the subdivision. No, I was using the subdivision. Okay. Yes, exactly. So a lot of things going on here, but this is for cartoony, very expressive cartoony rigging, so it's very, very hard to, but there are some techniques were not super difficult when you have like when you're the stand, when you have the documentation, right? When you are have enough understanding about how this works, so you can rig many things, then you've made some experiments or you're following a good guide, then you can just finally get good expressions with a very difficult thing, because I'm trying to mimic some sort of 2D-ish like expressions, right? And on top of that, I want some volume for the lips, and lots of rig solutions that try to mimic or get influence from 2D graphisms, right? Drawings. They forget that even the drawing, it implies that the lips, they have volume and they have shapes, organic anatomic shapes. But I have solved this in this setup with the special feature here, the anatomic shape key, the lips anatomic, eyelashes anatomic. I'm changing the order here. So here it will create the shape key amorph for the lips and organic lips, but because the base mesh, the basis is that, it's a very regular deforms for this thing. Okay, so let's continue here. Probably there are some improvements to make, but for now we can do this. Yeah, that's cool. And is this your model? Yes, this is an adaptation. It's a OC, original character of mine. I draw, right? I'm an artist, 2D artist. I have a 2D background, but then this particular style, the 2D, I don't have a yeah, probably I have some drawings here, but it's on the grease pencil, just a model sheet, right? Let's see if I can find the layer. It's a blender, right? A lot of stuff here to check, but you have like, where is the sketch? I have some sketch here. Let's isolate the grease pencil and see if we can get some. Yeah, so this character, yeah, so of course there's side view, all that, but this is I need to update this model sheet anyway, so the proportions will change. This is something maybe I can do today. All right, so what we need here is to, okay, let's leave these ones. All right, and now then we have this character here, right, which is, of course, is not exact the same, right? It's 3D, it's another artistic language. So I had to make up my mind at some point of the adaptation that, well, adaptation process, well, I can't get my style 2D into 3D. It's a different language, right? So there, not that I gave up this path entirely. Nice, thanks. Yeah. So yeah, it's a it's a pet project. Like it's a character design adaptations. It's super hard if you're trying to do like a very, very accurate adaptation that takes a lot of time, right? But it's faster when you already have the tools, right? In Blender, like I was learning Blender, right? In meanwhile, so it's like and rigging, so that's why also takes a while. But if you have the tools, the resource, then that's pretty cool. And making a show movie, that's very nice. Think of Porsche and car and dragons and dragons and guns. Yeah, very interesting. A show, a movie. Very interesting. Animation, then CGI, VFX, you know, visual effects. Yes, like One Piece. Is that a short feature film, medium feature film, long feature film? Yeah, I think there's some delay in the chat. Very nice. If do you have any link, I can check it. Maybe not now during the stream, but just have a look at it. Can long fit. Wow, yeah. And are you doing this with some collaboration, or like you're doing like a professional, or is a personal project, or what kind of? It's 1,000 episodes. This is okay. If you have a plan, that's good. But maybe are you doing with staff, or doing more alone, or just with some friends, or an entire crew? I don't know. Team, right? An entire team. No, I have 5 years. No, I have 5 years of experience. Yes, of Blender, of CG art, of 3D animation, maybe. Have you achieved other movies before, or worked on movies before? Like short feature films, for example, because starting directly with coding, animation, visual. Yes, interesting. Oh yeah, visual effects, coding, animation, and animation as well. I see. Yeah, I have background in 2D traditional animation, so yeah, animation is super cool, right? What I'm really passionate about is like animation openings, like the 90s, 80s, 90s TV series openings, right, of animation TV series, right? That's lots of cool stuff that I did. I did lots of short forms. Okay, so you really got good. If you say a lot, yeah, I had some experience with short feature films animation, right? But not a lot, right? Just sufficient to know that is super hard, right? So yeah, I think you're ready for a long one. But why I mentioned 1,000 episodes? No, I mean One Piece has. Oh yeah, okay. One Piece has 1,000 episodes, and you're doing just a long feature film, right? I did that Delta, some of my short form. I don't understand Delta, what that means. I have misspelled probably. I have one of my channel. Oh yeah, good. Yeah, so if you can share, I'm very interested. I like to watch original content from other fellows. So currently my format delete. Oh yeah, I did delete some of my short. Yeah, sometimes we have to clean up because things get depending. You don't want to show everything, of course, on any media. So the old stuff I barely. What's your Discord? Okay, so my Discord is like it's like, hold on, I need to, there's a code, right? I should have the right setting here. Where is this thing? Okay, so it's sorry, I'm trying to struggling here with this crap. Where is the... It doesn't want to show my own profile, and I can't get my own name visible for some reason. Yeah, it's making everything very hard. But you can easily find me in, you know, in the Blender communities servers, right? It's either epistemic-gnomes or maybe it's with a dot, or it's something like that. I think upper, or if you look for the Blender, they are, so yeah, like for example, I'm in the community of... This is all bugged here. Can't find the... Okay, hold on. Blender community, the one with the white and black logo, and Blender Discord, the blue logo. So I'm in those two. So you can probably find me there with that, something like that. Yeah, then you can just add me. Yeah. All right, so here, then you can share perhaps this content. Okay, let's continue here, but yeah, leave in the chat whichever thing we're gonna read on occasion. Like what OS your username is? Operational system? What is OS? My username is exactly that one on Discord, epistemic-gnomes, C-gnomes. Maybe with uppercase and the P and G, but the first letters, but I think that doesn't matter. But you probably can find me there easily. As long as you already participate in there, it's easy to get. No, like your OG. Sorry, what is OG? All right, so here we are going to look for the what to do here. Yeah, we'll start with... So this is all the to-do list, and so there are some model sheet retakes. I think I can do this today, later on, and in the stream we have modeling. Yeah, but you can answer. I'm just keeping the work here. Some mesh topology, you need things to revise. Okay, this is not for now. UV texturing, no. Rigging, okay, finally. Make sure the arc sustain more aligned with the muzzle on side posings. What is that? I don't... Yeah. Bone manager, this is fixed. Python scripting. Custom rig with... Now, this is another topic. Character rig, finally. Okay. Fix a natural scaling of IK stretch for limbs. Oh, we don't need the IK. We're not... So this is a problem here that... yeah, so there's a problem with... I don't think I need a setup for this. This is a problem of the... This is like... I don't need this, but it could be useful. Let's see. Okay, this will become experimental. Investigate of unnatural scaling for head IK. No, I'm not using this. Investigate presence of natural skill for helper. Okay. Shoulders. Indeed. This could be a little tricky. And here I need to... Yeah, so... And this will be experimental. Okay, so the problem is that the IK stretch property it's not very helpful in it creates problems, it creates something, but it adds problems also. So here we got some I key stretch. So the topic here is like issue I guess stretch for limbs, arm and legs, but also helper bones, leverage helper bone, yeah. Spine, yeah. Causes issue, yeah, scaling. Especially, yeah, so here is note for myself, shouldn't be doing, I should change this a bit here. So yeah, so the solution is experiment, yeah. Approach 1, do not use just approach 2. So experiment like solve I key stretch with extra setup. So there is tutorials that do this, but have to create an entire new rig setup just to solve I key stretch. So it's like a crappy feature in this case. It would need some improvements, right? But I know what causes scaling artifacts. Usually because parent bone, example, upper arm has also got I key stretch. Yeah, so that will wreak havoc the entire stuff, yeah. Okay, I need to check here the features for the spine, because it is possible that these bones here, they've got I key stretch. And if that's the case, that could be causing, okay, no I key stretch here. No I key stretch, no I key stretch. No, no. No. No, so no I key stretch anywhere here to be seen. So this seems fine. And for the head, also no. So no I key stretch for the heads. Spine head. And now for the helper rig, let's see if that's true. So the leverage setup here of we could keep this tweaker and look for, I want the shoulder here. We're gonna look for the mechanism again. No, it's helper leverage here. So what you get here is that if I pose this, so currently there's no I key stretch in these bones. They are not set up. Yeah, all right. Okay, so because I didn't set up them yet, so they don't have a I key stretch, so there's not in this character. And another character I did that. So these are some automation here. See the I key targets are here. So you can do this automation with inverse kinematics bone constraint. And it's actually very interesting. Instead of doing stretch 2 and other stuff which worked. But this thing was more like a real automation, right? So, okay. Then we gonna junk that these nodes, because actually we'll need to make some change here. There's nothing here, and this is like we're gonna place this somewhere else. There is a helper deform rig exactly here. Yes. So there's a new I would say attention to IQ stretch issue. And so this is very important, because if I'm gonna make this setup usually involved IQ stretched, and if the bones deform wrongly, then if the bones are scaled crazily, then they will have their deformed bones. They are gonna affect the rig in a very bad way. I have to counter that with some other setup, if that's the only way that this could work. So that's very unfortunate for Blender, but it's just a little feature that needs some attention, perhaps. Yeah, like the IQ stretch, it shouldn't make the child bone inherit it, right? So it's very unfortunate. It's logical, but it's stupid logic for rigging, for organic rigging. Okay, so twist feature, not only for, what is this? Not only for forearm, but also for upper arm type, shin. I think I forgot some. We could do this. It's a B bone, right? B bone, bendy bone, twist feature. Railway falls, smooth helper bones. This is sort of urgent. Fate all fan bone. This is priority. We don't have. Yeah, we don't have this smoother helper bones anymore. What you have is fan bones. And if all helper bones constraint automation setup. Okay. Verify auto weights for helper rig when there is deform rig already set. Yeah, this is just a experiment to do nothing relevant here. Okay, so we're gonna... Okay, let's go for the face finally. Otherwise, I'll be doing this forever. Okay. We're gonna get the good stuff now. Face rig. Head face rig. Upper face. Eye hole orbicularis oculi. Okay. Find way to smooth weights around walls or structural hole. No, not this one. Retake. It's eyelids. I currently believe the closed eyelids are... Okay, it's this topic subject here. Okay. With this, improve eyelids collapse impose. We're gonna make a backup here. Okay, and plus this. Yeah, we're gonna bring this here in just in case it is not. Follow up helper bones or behavior icons. Okay, this is another setup. So, okay. Eyelids raspberry revised. What about okay, this I've tried is like I'll have to assess this later. What this junk is for the notes. So much information that at some time I need to... So many tricky aspects in rigging characters in Blender, and I'm looking for an ideal rig, maybe a custom rig, so for my own style adaptation. So it's a lot of research, and but it's satisfying, especially when it starts working. And it is starting to work. Yeah, it is working, but I need to then lot of retakes, right? So it's a bit like that, the library. Okay, where's that facial rig? Where here? Head. Okay. Eyelids. Okay, so it's actually both things, because you're gonna change the... Oh, no. It's just... It's eyelids. Okay, exactly, eyelids. So We're gonna go back here. Should I read this thing? Too much stuff here. I currently believe the closed eyelids rest position peak straight, yes, but must make pose assets for at least closed forms, okay? Expressions. Yeah, so it's the curvature or non-curvature straight of the closed eyelids, right? Closed eyes, right? This can be achieved with shape keys, but no, we're doing this with bone. So it's pure smart setups that are being researched here, and I know how this can be achieved now for my particular character design. So it started. I used to do close a bit like this, the woo shape. So it's prior. So we need to change the rest position. Not well collapsing. Is prior. Okay. Not well collapsing versus when wide opening eyelids posing is way less relevant. Yeah, so it's not relevant. The collapsing mesh on the lid creases, top lid crease, bottom lid crease is not a problem. Because we don't see the mesh collapsing really what's happening there. So we can, but we can correct this with helper bone or bones in the eyelids, in the middle of the eyelid. With some automation. Yeah, so I'm gonna probably do this, and it's not super relevant. With good wave paint layering, that should work. The closing matching of the eyelids eyelash, even better with eyelash automated shape key. Yes, okay, I don't get that. They also just reading here to see if I didn't forget anything, because this will be a destructive process. It is reversible, but a lot of work to do this, so we're gonna save a backup. Then also, wide open eyelashes pose shouldn't be an issue with character design with the aid of eyelashes. Okay, that's true. So finally, we can probably solve the collapsing mesh of geometry on top and bottom lid crease with a new tech. Yes, there's just proportional posing helper bone. Should do the ribs and the problematic the loop edge loops making tactical eyelids layering. Okay, that's exactly what I mentioned before. Though attention to the fact closed eyelids rest position will have good results on skinning for natural results and good skinning for natural eye contour of the character design. Eye contour as the eye contour here, what I mean there. Remember the angular top inner corner eye hole contour, I think. Okay, I think this won't be a problem for the eyelids because they have bendy bones. All right. And then it's depth warp. So yeah, the rest position of the... Let's finally... This is the rest position of the eyelids. And the eyelashes and yeah. And of the eye hole. So what's happening here is that this is not wide open, which will be the normal state of the character, and it is not closed or not half closed. It's just like 75% open or 80% open, something like that. And I tried to do this as some sort of interpolated rest position from the start, right? So that in that way I'd have some blending, let's say. The skinning will be good for wide open, for both eyelid shape and eyelash shapes, and also closed. But turns out that for the closing pose, it's not so good. It's still very hard, and this is very critical, right? Because then it's very messy without a corrective shape key or some other crazy tricks to get this thing straight. So we're gonna make this change, and right now we're gonna finally do this. I've been procrastinating this because it's very much hard work. It's destructive, very dangerous, but it is necessary. So we're gonna save copy. We're gonna bring this. Yeah, you don't see what I'm doing, but I'm just saving here in a different folder outside of the asset library directory, so it won't stack iterations of saved files, backups. In my asset browser, asset library system here, for this entire world building project. So here we got hold on, character. Oh, that's yeah, whip. Okay, so here's about to find the iteration number. Click here. It's 22. Okay, so before destroying, before changing eyelids, eyelashes, rest positions. Okay, there we go. Save iteration. And so yeah, we are gonna hide some, yeah, prepare the workspace here for this stuff. We want to, we don't, yeah, we're gonna hide the armature for now. We're gonna, yeah, we need the eye. Okay, we're also gonna collapse this by just hiding the anatomic eyelashes. We're not gonna create new geometry here. This is just an artifact, shading artifact, and we need to be on edit mode, right? Yeah, and also gonna hide this. The meshes here are all collapsed. Okay, we need to be editing the bases, of course. Not gonna use this. We can hide this to prevent any mistakes. Yes, so actually we're gonna do the inverse. Okay, select all these mesh here. And let's unselect some face loops here. Isolate this. All right. So there are a lot of vertices here. It's a bit hard to find what we need without. Let's make an annotation here. So I have many options here. Yeah, let's just make a new one. So we have, of course, we could do they have many options, of course. I want a straight line because it is the most regular one. The problem is that I cannot do this anyhow, right? It could have a very slight curvature according to, I think it's not bad, but it's arguable what should be better. Here we, of course, this eye is actually like this, but this is not gonna work, right? So we need to, actually, I tried already. Believe me, it is not gonna work. So we need to find the yeah, so it will be closed here, even though there is these sharp corners here. So this is very weird, right? But it's the character design. So there's the almond shape idea for the entire eye hole, but this is not an experiment or rounded. We could have an anatomic eye hole. Eye hole anatomic shape key. So the base mesh for the will be circular here, or it would be almond-like, which will be something, I imagine, for all the character designs of this card, something like this. yeah, some almond shape a bit like this. So all the all all the character designs I have will conform to this thing, and then we shape key this, we morph this, the rest position into into a eye hole anatomic. So each different character design, they all have the same base mesh here, topology wise and also mesh geometry wise. Well, at least certain, right? We could generalize depending, but and then we just shape a constant like this one, right? A constant for the particular character design of one character. So this almond shape apparently it's very good for could be used for melt rigging, but I doubt this will be the ultimate solution. But for skinning in the current state of the technologies that we have available in vanilla Blender. But for the eye, including in my character design, some sort of almond shape here already, right? So it makes sense. And so yeah, and it's okay if the almond shape is not matching here, because with the morph we just need to readjust, right? Of course, here we're gonna place the almond shape is for the eye hole and for the eyelids as well. So it doesn't mean that we cannot shape then the character design with yeah, okay, so this thing will go maybe go here, but then the joint of the eyelids will be bring maybe about here, right? And so there and this one will be here, right? And so on and so actually this, right? Okay, so I just need a straight line here. To something like this. I want straight. I try to get the curvature of the something. Yeah, so something like yeah, something like this. It will not be too hard to change, right? So after this, we can start editing this mesh. We should probably hide some junk here. So just we need the yeah, I don't want eye coins nor eyebrows, just the eyeball because it's a target for snapping. So I'm gonna actually here I have a little problem. I don't want to be editing this mesh, but it will lag behind if I do not move it in sync. So this is a bit tricky, but we can solve this in the very end. So for now, let's just do something like this and hide this mesh. So what I need here is to use because there are a lot of collapsed verts here because the eyelashes are all here. So this is a strategy that I found for better skinning of this thing. Okay, so here we see what we've got here. We need to snap everything here. Okay, I need to use this snapping feature here. This will be the yeah, all this seems fine. Okay. So everything here is snapping. Of course, we need to start making these readjustments here. This actually needs to go up. Yeah, the real corner is there. And yeah, I think that's it, right? So it doesn't need to be perfectly straight, right? Also because this is a 3D curvature, right? So it's not straight. It's just straight from one certain angle. This may cause some problem here, but yeah. So the important thing is that it will work in the end. So here is kind of arbitrary, I think. There is a logic behind what I'm doing, but it's kind of dangerous because it is destructive. It takes a lot of time, some time to fix, right? And here, of course, these faces are becoming gigantic, somewhat displaced, and this is dangerous also. Will be why I'm having these shapes now. It's oh, of course. It's because the collapsing here is wrong. We need to bring these things down, I guess. Yeah, so I need to redistribute these vertices. Yeah, good thing actually. And of course here we can redistribute. Here we can redistribute as well. We're gonna do all this, right? So all this, like, we can GG, then G grab to snap, and then we can get these approximations here. Front view will allow us to see the line, the stroke there. Yeah, this is very forced to be straight here, so this is causing the mesh to really have to jump or to warp there, or to do a lot of... Yeah, these verts need to deform a lot to reach then the another positioning. So this can be a bit dangerous actually, but I trust this mesh topology. I've tested this over and over again, so it shouldn't be a big problem here. So the eyelashes are concentrated on these vertices. Why I need to be using the toggle X-ray here in order to... And here I have way more vertices than subdivisions on this direction than I would like to. Okay, so there's a slight curvature here. I wonder if this is good or necessary. As for this one, we're gonna push this closer here already. Grab and snap. This is not the last one, but we could reach there. Yeah, where is the... Yeah, so, okay, let's bring it here. Yeah, I suspect this here, too many here might be bad, but I have to see more about the rearrangements here, because we can improve this by just pushing. Ideally, would like to have matching numbers, right, from top and bottom, from the sides. So I believe here, yeah, we want a regular spacing here in principle, because then we don't have any big face, and these big faces, they tend to there'll be a subdivision surface modifier level 1 anyways, but big faces will contribute to the intersection artifacts, right, with the eyeball, between the eyelids mesh and the eyeball. So you need to rearrange these shapes into adequate adequate spacings. And I don't remember, I need to check some old tutorial or old document I have file to see how I did that for the... It's not needed, but it will be good to just have a glimpse on, because I already did this kind of closed eyelid. So of course, right now it's not gonna look good for many reasons. I'm disrupting the UVs as well. But we have a shrink wrap modifier, right, for the eyelids mesh on top of this eyeball. So the eyeball is it's a... Wait. I thought I had 2 eyeballs, so why I have... Okay, it doesn't matter. Maybe it's for another character that I did the dual eyeballs, so... Yeah, so maybe this one is not completed yet. Or maybe the eyeball is... Okay, I know it's because this eye... It's a single one, but it deforms, so it is adaptive on both sides. It's a bit weird, right? I think it will be better with just one, but in this way it's more economical, but it's weirder. But I believe I have a different setup on another version, so I need to combine these versions with the ultimate techniques, right? The ones that I select, ultimately have selected for this project of rigged model template, right? So this is very time consuming to do all these things, but this is a big research, so... And now I'm getting very close to let's say to a result that is shareable and usable, entirely usable for a project. I had iterations that were already solved, if not 100% of the problems, like very 90% maybe. Yeah, all this because I really care about my own character design, at least. So if it were any other character design, I'm doing it for myself, right? But it's a project, it's this character design, right? I'm really passionate about. So it's this adaptation research from 2D to 3D. That's why I spend so much time. But of course, it's good at some point to see, okay, let's finish this off, right? Let's get maybe I waited a bit too much or worked a bit too long for this kind of moment. But now we are almost reaching it. Here I'm having this problem that don't seem to have enough subdivisions on this bottom eyelid here, but okay, that seems... Yeah, it should be used, it should work, right? But it's a bit weird. It is possible that we'll need here more subdivision, right? Because we start to get some weird faces there. Yeah, here actually, of course, because the rest position, as you may see... Okay, I see what's going on. It's very, of course, is logical. It's because there's much more the top eyelid is much bigger spatially than the larger than the bottom eyelid, right? So we can just get some a bit more regular things here. I don't want to do anything fancy here because I don't know what will be the automation pattern. So I'll try to keep them in a similar distances here. That should work. This I know it works. So this mesh topology I know it works. But here you need to spread this apart. Oops, these are the important ones. Need to grab all together, all right? Okay, this looks fine. These faces here, I think they are starting to get okay. This one could be a little tricky. Let's move this up a little more. In the worst case scenario, we can just make an additional subdivision for the top eyelid. I wouldn't like to do that, but maybe it will be necessary. Yeah, and so this rearrangement now it's just a little details, right? But we're getting the... Maybe we can move this down. Yeah, this should stay close to that corner. This I'm doing here is very dangerous for the, right, destroying some, changing the character design, right? But it's just smoothing out. We can just readjust this on the event. So it looks fine. Here we sort of achieved one of the results. Now I'm saving on the in this current state file, right? You see there's some this slight uninteresting, yeah, some ugly arrangements here and there, but it will probably just work. All right. So you see there's no immediate intersection. You see faces seem to be working with the subdivision. Now this is without, this is with. So we don't see the subdivided mesh, but it is the wireframe, but it is there. If we check, that will be interesting to observe. Let's see, subdivision, optimal display. No, okay, so here, yeah, so very regular geometry there. That totally should work. Okay, now we get to look into the other parts of this. Like, let's hide this and let's select and expand this. Shift Alt, no, Shift H. So here now we got very... Okay, so we're gonna work with this. It will be much easier here if I could just delete this and remake, right? Let's just do some GG. Actually, what's happening there? No, not snapping. We shouldn't snap this stuff. Okay. Move that down. Smooth. Move backward. Smooth. GG. Yeah, so this is a good technique. So just learn. So we can collapse, stretch force collapse them with the GG. And where they are there. So we're gonna, so this corresponds in this rig to what I call eyelids borders. So they are an inner wall for the eyelids. So what I'm doing there is pushing them into the eyeball. And these things, just in order to prevent any accident. Okay, so they seem very regular mesh. They have a shrink wrap. They have a shrink wrap bone constraint. No, shrink wrap modifier. To okay, we have some crazy waves here. I think there's wave problems. Yeah. The skinning is, yeah, the waves got a bit wrong. We'll probably might have to make some adjustments, right? Strange, shouldn't occur, but probably, oh, it's the positioning of bones. Okay, so we have some bones that are already making some change on the mesh, I guess, on the rest poles. So you need to adjust the bones in the armature as well, otherwise you'll not get the good results. But before that, there's still one thing to do here regarding the mesh, the base mesh, which is, this is complicated. So I have to fix the anatomic eyelash for this pose, for this rest position. So this is the collapsed and this is the real ones, but I'll have to do something a bit different here, because this, although it might be good for the final, so I have to destroy these shapes somewhat. I want here to be the, I need to reshape this into what the eyelids should look like, eyelashes, sorry, in this very regular closed, straight closed eyelids. So I have to conceive, I'm gonna even shrink them a little, but this is probably not super, no, won't do that a lot. So just need to get these shapes regular. Not regular, but we need, yeah, we need to, it will be the pose of the eyelashes, the rest position, right? It's very important for skinning. So it's a good idea, actually, sorry, this is not for skinning. So this is a bit tricky to explain. So the rest position is that the skinning algorithm responds to the vertices of the, from this rest position, that they are just following the, these eyelids thing, right? These vertices of the eyelids, they're exactly in there. But with the anatomic, the eyelash anatomic shape key, I have the possibility to shape now what would be the character design eyelashes, but they will be more responsive to skinning, because rigging stylized, very large stylized eyelashes, very, very hard. It's not one of the hardest things, but you see I'm struggling. I have to revise my whole conceptualization, because you never know everything, right? So now I found that I need to improve this setup, right? We're gonna select all this mesh here. It seems to not be with the proper edge creases on every edge. Okay, so we have to reposition. Ah, looks like I've made a mistake. This part was correct. You see the eyelash starts there. Gonna smooth this out. Of course, you can have some bones that will... I have eyelash bones that can control and have automations for... there's a waving pattern that is cool to look at on the stylized eyelash, and this is what is automated. But we'll have to revise some of them because we are changing the whole rest position, right? Like right now there seems to be for the bottom eyelash. Now it's still not good. We have some... Technically I would like to dissolve this, but I found... this will something revise later. I never used this thing. It can cause trouble. It's very low poly mesh. It's good enough, but for some reason I found lately we might require to make certain additional geometry here and there, but then I start to have some ugly shapes there, which I need to investigate further. But this is okay. Let's just see. Maybe it's some... Yeah, it's the subdivision surface modifier, right? No, it's not. It's something else. Okay, we have to... Need to remember what that was. Oh yeah, it's the bones. Everything is messed up there. So ignore the... Let's ignore the... No, it's not just bones. There are more problems. Yeah, this thing. Maybe this thing as well. I'm gonna disable this for now. Okay, this one is important. And this one is what we need to revise in a moment. Okay. So here, that was my mistake apparently. Okay, I see what we need to do. Okay, so we're gonna work from this state indeed. We're gonna have to push this. So this inner corner, for some arbitrarily reason, it actually have more stuff here. So there are more, there's a corner here. And I need to bring this there. I don't remember this, but anyways. Yeah, it's something about the fact that I've very radically changed the arrangement. So now it's difficult to track everything. Ah, this is bad, very bad. I need to change this. Go back to the basis. Okay, let's change all these vertices at once, right? And then we made the modifications on the... So I have to seriously revise, understand what is this gap here that is excessive vertices here. But anyways, we got the thing here is that at least I've got the I wasn't expecting this little issue on the just I'm not changing the mesh topology, right? It's just rearrangement. So yeah, I could technically expand the, in this case, I could technically expand the, let's hide this again because it is not gonna help. And then we see, okay, now we see that why they were so concentrated on the other sides, because the pairing was somewhat incorrect, right? Okay, this will, I just later there's some bad posing here. I was editing the wrong one. Yeah, so okay, let's log this one for now. Yes, the eyelash start here. So yeah, it should be here. That is the only thing that I need to know. This here is bizarre, but that will be like this. Probably I want to keep this at the... So here we have the possibility to eliminate face loops, right? But or edge loop, but it's dangerous because I still have to figure out the posing later on, right? So we need to, before I delete this something here, I'd have to test the waves, the posing, right? But for now we can rearrange this, so you can move this to this direction here, and then we can reorganize this stuff. So you're gonna have a more free... Yeah, because when the character will open the eye, naturally, then of course the old rearrangement, that was the rest position, which doesn't exist anymore for the eyelids, the old rest position, that pose with the will need this that setup, because like it's reversible to some extent. So it should be necessary. There's a little chance we can simplify and dissolve them. At least one, but we'll have to test to see. And we can dissolve and test and see if the results are good still. Okay, so here we got better arrangements. Yeah, so we still have disparity, but we at least... Oh, what is this one? Yeah, I could bring this one here. Okay, this... What if I... I see what's... Okay, I hope you have seen that too. So we can actually do this. And again, this is very... Okay, so you have another matching there. but it's the last one. And here it doesn't matter too much if vertex is like this, is like this, it's just for the beautiful look, but it should work as long as the faces are not, yeah, as long as it's regular enough, that should be fine. Let's look again from the front. Okay. Here, maybe you can try to get that closer there. And here, I don't want this to get too far from the corner, because the corner is kind of important. So we're gonna instead try this. Here is a bit weird shape, but I think we can... It should be sufficient. Maybe we can push this a little closer here to the inner side. Yeah, so it's very tedious to rearrange all this, but it pays off, because this solution here will be much better for the closing of the eyes, which it's not the problem of the eyelids the eye contour itself. It is, with bendy bones, it's kind of easy to match the curvatures of the deforming mesh of the eyelids. Right? But it's the eyelashes, big stylized eyelashes. They get a lot of intersections between themselves. Very, very tough. So that's why if I get the rest position with already a regular, with this position fixed on a straight, then if it gets curved in happy or curved sleepy, this mesh here will just adjust to very natural, because it's very close to the right. We have some interpolations, or you can see it like that, right? So this geometry won't suffer too much, this mesh geometry, with the skinning. And so I'm guaranteeing that this will be like a good rest position for not for everything. There's always pros and cons, but the big pro here is favoring the closed expression, which is expressions which are 3 of them. So it's like 3 big gains. If it's solved just the neutral, that's all alone, that will be already sufficient to decide for that, because it is the hardest thing, is to close the eyes with eyelashes. So how to solve it? You get the sculptural shape by default by having it as the rest position for the mesh object, and that solves so no skinning for that, because that's the sculptural shape, the rest position, right? The base one. Ideally, in rigging, if we could have multiple rest positions, that will be, and then there will be some skinning method that will be smart enough, advanced enough to be able to interpolate between multiple rest positions. Then you could totally rig a character with multiple good rest positions and interpolate the artifacts between good rest positions. Then You could eliminate halve the artifacts or even more, solve them. But maybe that interpolation of rest positions would be super costly for performance. I don't know, but it could be a new method, right, for rigging, if there's anyone that... I don't really know how that would be achieved, but well, I conceptualize it, right? Now the developers should get to work. No, it's like when you look for different approaches, of course it needs to know the context. I don't know really the context and the... So maybe it's not a good idea, but there are chances there are good ideas and they just don't move because there's no sensibility or creativity enough, or not enough people involved in those more structural rigging structures of CG art, right? Okay, so after messing up with all this, I think I finally reached here a good arrangement. Now we need to fix... Yeah, I'll go again. We're gonna find out these ones. We don't need snapping for... We don't want snapping for this. We're gonna smooth GG, more GG, and yeah, and now we're gonna smooth more. Inspecting, they seem to be yeah, they got some not very good placements, so you're gonna isolate some meshes here. Yeah, first let's isolate these ones. And let's... No, wrong. We see them here. Expand, Shift H. There we go. Now we have this. We can just get some repositions here. This is not strictly necessary, but it will prevent any possible flaw in the rig. Now I have, I think this is... Where's the... Okay, so what is this? I think I've misplaced something here. Yeah. Okay, never mind. Don't know what's... Okay, just this. Alright. Yeah, I probably wrongly grabbed these ones. Probably I snapped them accidentally in the very beginning. Okay, now we are seeing this. Are they aligned? Yes. For the most part, this seems Good enough, yes. Yeah, the solution here would be to delete and re-extrude, right? But this is destructive, so there are some vertex groups fixing. It's very tedious. I could create a Python script for batching this. That's possible, but not time for this now. That'll be great. I know how to do this. I know how to research how to do this at this point. I have already one that creates some steps. It's not too hard, but you need to know just the basics of Python scripting for rigging in Blender. Just 1 week of studying Python scripting in Blender for that purpose, it's sufficient to get 1 week, 2 weeks, yeah. In less than 1 month, you can sort of figure it out. Yeah, probably in 1 month. Depends on how much you search and how lucky you are in the and organized in the learning process. It's not there are good content on that online, so it can be basically it's a sequence of operators, and then you need to set them to the right context, object mode, edit mode, with the right object which has a string usually, unless we use some stealth method, stuff that I cannot explain or don't accurately understand. But essentially you can batch stuff by, you don't need to indicate every string, every name. It's just whichever is selected, use that self thing to do something. Yeah, so you have one command that then can be applied to, or one bit of content that can be reapplied over and over again for a lot of things. So you have some tricks there for regular programming notions that can be useful. Then you get Python scripting, and then you can start doing some useful things for your own projects. Okay, so this rearrangement, is that part rearranged? Yeah, it is set. But what now it's gonna do is gonna smooth and GGC. So this is the, oops, without, of course, without snapping. GGC is to go in the other direction, to extrapolate, right? Very super handy modeling trick. So these are like ellipse walls, right? Pretty much like ellipse walls, but they are actually not lip ceiling and floor, I mean. I'm having trouble navigating here. Okay, this one, we see that here we got a little messed up. Not messed up, just not very regular. Okay, so this is why I procrastinate this too much. It's so much annoying. So yeah, I have to take notes of what is the steps to redo this. Delete this vertex, re-extrude from the, not the eyelashes, but from the precisely the eye contour, eyelids edge ring, which a bit hard to select here. I think it's this one. Yeah, it won't select because these ones are... Oh no, what happened? It's locked. What's happening here? I don't have auto merge. Something very... Oh no, they are just hidden. No panic. Okay, so now it's time to fix these eyelashes. Alright, so the bottom one is mostly okay, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna preserve this. I need to revise that I already mentioned. I'm not gonna use proportional editing here because this will destroy this mesh here, unless I hide it, of course. But I need to... Yeah, so I need to hide these vertices, but then I lose the reference, right? So it's very complicated. Okay, so maybe there's another way. If I hide... Okay, no, let's first make some generic adjustments here. So attention, now I'm editing not the basis, but the... So it shouldn't be... It's very easy to mistake, so... Oh, I can lock the basis. Oh no, but I can still do this, yeah, so it's useless. There's a mistake here. So the eyelash is there, so actually we should place this as a corner. Yeah, long time I don't touch this, so things have changed a little here. Or no, I have changed. Oh, I have forgotten I also probably have added some face loops, so... Okay, let's grab this and place it here. Good. Without this, then we're gonna... do this. Good. Fine. Okay, this is enough. Then yeah, snap them all together. Yeah. Yeah, they shrink like the... Where's the gizmo? Here. Okay, there we go. Okay, then we go back to anatomically eyelashes anatomic shape here, and here we can... Yeah, now this is good. And now we need to find what will be like the... when the eyelashes... top eyelash collapses, or not collapse, but it closes the eye, then which shape should it get? So this is... it's a bit weird for me because it's yeah, it's like I'm gonna have to destroy all that character design shape that I've made for the top. For the top eyelash when it was closed, and but it'll still look a little alike. It's just that we need to make some... Yeah, this is because I'm not looking the back face culling. Okay. So you see, this is okay. But with the helper automation of the eyelash, we could improve this a little. So I'm not sure if I want this eyelash to like invert here. The ideal thing here, I believe, will be just to have just this thing to stay a bit like straight forward, like very subtle curvature maybe. Yeah, with if I could dissolve this vert edge loop, that will be much simpler. All this, right? It's already simple, but it could be. It was better before. I need to find a way to dissolve this. That will not create some object modifier artifacts. Okay, so maybe this is good enough right now. Yeah, it's acceptable. And then for here, we're gonna do, yeah, so I'm gonna try this, yes. To use proportional editing, yes, it would be useful here, but we'll need to hide some mesh, then I lose the reference, visual reference, so I prefer to do this like this. I'm used to that already. Too big here, we need to probably improve this. Okay. That looks good. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Very beautiful curvature here. And here we can also reduce this and get this thing a bit more regular. And that's it. Yeah, we can get this. Yes. Finally, so we got 3 times save. So we got here the eyelashes, anatomic eyelash, which does this. We need to fix a little error here. So we're gonna. Okay, so there are many mistakes actually. But the first thing, we're gonna invert this. And we're gonna apply the basis here. So Control V, no, Control, no, okay. Control V, this is the inversion. Blend from shape. Take the basis as a reference, take off add, and that's it. And then we solve that, and yeah, it seems entirely solved, yes, except that we have some weird arrangement here. Yeah, so this is for the basis actually to be fixed, so we can lock this already. Snapping back, click here. Isolating this mesh. I see, they're just overlapping. No big. Oh no, this is a. Oh, no eyelash here. So it's just. One point to click. Yeah, these ones, however, we need to the X-ray here, otherwise we'll just pick the one vertex and that is incorrect. Yeah, and this is the non-manifold mesh geometry, but that works, so I don't care. That works for this setup. We don't use a solidify modifier. This makes the rig goes nuts. Some weird thing there, but I think this is just because of I need to. Yeah, it's just the. Okay, so you see how good this is now. So you have this by default. And now what we need to do is to rearrange the bones, the bone structure for this thing. Let's make a highlight here because this could be interesting in many ways. So this is like repositioning eyelids, bones setup plus depth warp dash slash how there's control map setup. Yeah, how, what the hell that means? Yeah, for instant rest pose, instant custom rest pose. Yeah. Okay, so let's address here the eyelids and eyelash bones, right? So basically what's going on here is that I've changed the mesh rest position of the eyelids and the eyelashes. I have an eyelash anatomic shape key. So here I have this very, decided to eyelash to be started and closed in the rest position on a very regular thing. This will make the stylized big, large eyelashes much easier to rig, and this rest position here I get by default. So I don't have to rig this thing. It's already rigged because it's in the model. So it's a perfect sculpture here. But the armature object is on the old rest position, so I need to fix it. Where's the armature object here? So it is here. It is hidden because we are not working on that. And so here I have a lot of bones here. Not a lot of bones for the eyelid setup. It's fortunately relatively simple. We're gonna hide these tweakers. We just want the eyelids. So here, yeah, eyelashes also, because we'll move them together. So this is all we've got, is just some bendy bone splines. Let's make sure nothing is hidden here. They are not connected directly to any other facial rig setup except for some parentings offset. So they are loose bones here, loose bone setup structures. And we're just going to reposition them accordingly. So this will be a bit tedious because they are bendy bones, and retaking this will be time consuming. Bendy bone splines, right? But it's not too hard. So what we need here is to snap those things on certain surface, but we're gonna also hide the, yeah, actually mask the, I have these object modifiers for the, that for some reason is not working. Okay, this used to work, so maybe it's a wrong okay, wrong target. Just need to update this exclamation point is just why it is creating this okay, so hide this stuff temporarily, or mask. Now we can reposition the bones. So this technique for repositioning bones, we'll use not face project, but use face without this thing. It's useful for certain things. Now it won't be useful. We don't want the bones to rotate during snapping. So we take this off and we take this face close as can be. Then we need here to pick this whole sets here. We want this on edit mode. We're gonna bring all this, and we usually here medium point is safer, but in this case, you see they are all snapping the same, they're on the same point joint. It's all concentrated on one single point in 3D space. So it's not like a tail and head that you use with absolute bendy bone setup. So this is like when they end, immediately starts the other bone. So in this case, we don't need the medium point. We can use individual origins. So you can just grab this, snap this to place it here. So you see, as we snap here, the this thing stays aligned. So exactly what I need. But then we'll need to change the roles of the... Okay, so here we'll have to find... Okay, you know what? Yeah, I think this doesn't need to be perfect. So I just need to be... to have some... It just needs to be meaningful, right? So for the rig. So here we're gonna... I don't know exactly where the waves are, so I don't rotate anything here. I'll try to place this on the joint. Maybe more to the center here, to the inner, than to the outer. It's arbitrary, but actually I don't really know what is the real joint here. So let's take this off. I think there's a glitch here. The mask is forcing... Yeah, there's a... Okay, I need to report this bug, but no time for this. A bug or a glitch. Okay, so basically let's return. But I need to know what's the real vertex so I can know where the joint is. Yeah, I won't place it here. I would rather place it here. So there's the joint. We're gonna place it there, but maybe it's better to do this with the subdivision on. So see how tricky all this can be, right? If you want to... And now this thing is back. Okay, so... but I know it was... I don't remember. I think it is this one. Yeah, they're exactly there. So we're gonna place the cursor here. I'm not snap to the cursor, though this is another strategy. Could work very smoothly. We're gonna just position everything about there with the snapping, right? So, and it needs to be on the top eyelid, right? Not in the bottom eyelid. So we need to make sure this is accurate enough. Now for this one, these ones actually, we're gonna place them... Yeah, I think there. We can hide these things, right? So we can... Contraptions, so we don't... If we change everything to sticky bones, maybe that's also... Let's say I want to place it here, maybe. Okay, that's... Okay, then of course this is a problem for the rig. But here there is little I can do except change the bone shapes maybe. It's not a problem for the control rig exactly, because there's the widgets, and we can also... This is not the rest pose. We're gonna make the rest pose different. So here, last set. Let's for the middle part here, okay? Okay, I grabbed this bone accidentally. This will cause rig havoc. No, it's just... Okay, we need also this one. Then we can double check if everything... If we didn't forget anything. Looks like... Oh no, these are extra bones. They don't matter. Okay, so let's hide this once. Let's select this. Yeah, let's just do this. There we go. And unselect this. And select this. Unselect this one also. There we go. No, we forgot one joint there. This is selected. Yeah, there we go. So we're gonna place it about here, right? And then for this one, we want to place... We can hide everything. Let's just check here, double check. Okay, this is accurate. I'm gonna place here. Yeah, let's select... Yeah, actually, let's select the joints. And then we select these ones which sticks out, right? There we go. And then we snap to there. The cursor is not snapped, so it's less accurate, but it's... I'm not using this. But we can, yeah, just snap the cursor with the Shift S, right? That could be a good thing. And this wouldn't create rotations, unwilling rotations. So now we need to fix the... Okay, now we don't need to manage the eyelashes anymore. Just didn't help too much, right? So we need to just address these ones and these one. Yeah, just the... Yeah, actually all the handles, all the bendy bones, and all the mechanism bones. Yeah, that's all. So that's much simpler now, and we need to... Maybe I don't need to do much thing here. No snapping here. We're gonna try to just realign those splines towards the proper... the new straight orientation. These rolls could be necessary to adjust, but they are not as important because the last breast position for this armature skeleton was not too different than this one in terms of this roll, so they didn't get too much unalignments, if you see what I mean. So, but we can still manage some improvements here. Like, let's just double check something here. Is there... No, there's no shrink wrap for this. No shrink wrap bone constraints for these handles. Okay, because the shrink wrap can make some automation of these alignments. It could be useful. We could use that actually. Not that they will gonna be distorted, right? This one has shrink wrap. Yeah, this shrink wrap to the eyeball. You see, there's no... We're not using this one. So this is for the control bone. So you see those handles, they are sort of loose here. They don't... it's not important. So we just want to go on edit mode and make some... just small tweak here. And this is not a bendy bone, so it doesn't require... So we're gonna just shift N active to active bone. Sometimes they are already aligned, but just to double check, we're gonna do this active. And then here we just want some... So if I reset the roll, it did all that. So we're gonna just find something like aligned with the normal of the face, whatever. Can probably apply with the shrink wrap modifier, right? but it's tedious, right? It's not safe. It's very easy to break your rig if you use that operator, those kind of operators. So this thing is like maybe it may be dumber, but it's smarter. Less focus. You just adjust manually. There's little destruction that can happen from here, and you don't have to create bond constraints, apply bond constraint, apply rest position. It's I think less steps here. It's just a different kind of focus. Okay, so we're gonna do this, and what I'm doing, then we get this one to align active here. These ones we could also align them. Yeah, let's do this. So let's align this to the bendy. I think that should be safe. Yeah, that should be. Yeah, you see they already had some kind of alignment, so probably it was following that same idea. Already did this, right? Yeah, we're gonna. No, the wrong one. Okay, I forgot I could have batched this. And this one's already solved. All right, so now this setup is refined, readapted. Let's check those orientations. They don't seem to be pointing forward. Looks like we have a problem here. So no, it is aligned. So it's just an illusion. Yeah, they are straight. So I'm not gonna care about that. Okay, so why I was looking at this because of their axis? No, they don't need anything. So all fine. All right, so now we got the setup, and for some reason it's not deforming. Probably it's just because for some reason I've disabled that. I don't remember why, but here, so we got, let's take off the subdivision. So what's happening here is probably this terrible thing. It's just the okay, so what's going on? So we need to improve some. Oh yeah, no, eyelashes is here. Okay, let's leave it on for now, and let's disable this. Okay, so why those things are happening now? Probably this is automating something. It shouldn't be happening. Too much waves on some vertices. But see, the curvatures are functioning. The eyelash is not looking very nice when we move this up, right? Yeah, let's grab this eye key thing here. Oh, I keep for rotation would be nice, right? If you had... Is there... What is this? Chain follow rotation of target. Let's try this. Never used that. No, it's this one. It's creating some sort of bad artifacts. Not what I expected. Yeah, it's creating some crazy things already. No, I never use this. I don't know. Don't really know how this works. We need some tests, right? Some base tests on a simpler rig to, or just read about it. Okay, so of course I'm concerned how I will solve this, the shape of the eyelash that is getting there. I have some ideas already because I already rigged that. I said there'll be, yeah, probably the automators of the eyelashes. They are also, yeah, they are also causing this thing at this point. So yeah, let's not focus on the eyelashes. This is a secondary. Primary thing will be to fix these intersections here. And clearly, there's a nice eye shapes, right, that we can make here. So these are like the... We have some other bones that can control, right? Yeah, see, so this is what Andreas position. So instant get the... Okay, the intercept... Yeah, we need to re-wave paint this stuff. Maybe two big faces, right? Here, yeah, apparently this bone has too much waves on this region here. This bendy bone, or maybe this one. I can't see it very well. No, it's this bendy bone has some too strong waves there, and then it is... You need to smooth this out, right? And that, of course, shouldn't occur. But you see the eye hole doesn't change, except for some region there. The shape, though, it's not bad, right? The shapes that we can make. So this is like the idea, the concept of the inverse sonic melt rig. Not exactly the concept of there. It probably existed in other cartoony melt rigging strategies worldwide, right? He got some of its ideas also from some Japanese sonic reference of rigging, but I think there's a lot of people who had reached the same conclusions logically by messing up with rigging. So yeah, that's very interesting eye contour shapes that we can make, even some sort of curvature here if we want, I guess. Yeah, apparently we can get pretty much lots of crazy eye shapes, right? Eye contour shapes, very pleasing. And then, of course, if we want to close, this will be... We need a pose assets here, probably, right? Yeah, I could do this with some zipper lip, sticky lips, right? Setup, but this is completely stupid, right? Now we want pose assets, right? So you see, you can easily achieve this kind of pose because the rest position, right, is very regular, straight, or at least straight in this line here that I've made, not straight from here, right? So Okay, so now it's a problem of waves. So we solved the armature reposition, but let's make the depth warp control rig. This will be tedious right now because actually what we need to do is just do the following, folks. There is a quick IKI lead, right? So these bones, they oh yeah, how they this IK is a problem here. Okay, we have a problem here. It's unfortunate. Okay, so maybe this control tweak. Maybe I'll have to delete the mechanism system. I need to, if I, yeah. The mechanism and the non-deformed bones, they are not relevant for the rest position of the mesh. They are just relevant for the control rig. The thing that needs to be aligned with the mesh is the deform rig. That means that the mechanism chain here, it could be offset entirely, but gonna have to remake everything here. Yeah, could be plausible. Okay, so I'll probably need buffer bones as this. So I'm gonna save here and okay, I'm gonna snap here, same setup. Let's do some crazy stuff here. Of course, this won't work. We need to bring also this one here. Oh, forgot that one. Okay. Yeah, this is swapping is very annoying. Okay, why it's not warping? Of course it's not warping because we don't have the warp setup. So yeah, the way to achieve this will require a warp setup. And for this, unfortunately, we'll have to create some extra stupid buffer bones to so the cool thing is that I can control the rest position of the armature, the skeleton of the Ike chain. But this can cause problem. Yeah, because you know the Ike chain bone constraint, it doesn't. This will never be used to invert this thing. Yeah, so we have a lot of problems here already. So that's very unfortunate. I need to straighten this thing. How do you match? Yeah, and then I'll have a straight line here. Okay, I know what to do. Okay, I'm gonna... There's a bone that doesn't exist. Ah, it is growing there. Now we want to align it here and then grow there. No, hold on. Wrong bone. Okay, I need to go back. Okay, it doesn't... I don't want to subdivide, destroy the bone and resubdivide, so... Okay, I have a straight line, but maybe it's the only way. Why the bone without... Why doesn't it align? Wait, the bone vanished? Okay, the bone is doomed. It should be somewhere. Don't know what's going on here. Ah, it seems to have gone to the void. Okay, so this just crashed Blender. I never seen that before. Okay, maybe I've seen that before, but okay, so maybe I just delete and remake. Yeah, it'll be fine. So I'm gonna try to... The only problem, right, is that... Okay, I want the eye keychain to be straight. This will not follow the curvature. Or maybe... If I can use the normal, so just it will be rotated in this direction. That is fine. But not up and down, something like that. That could be the ideal setup, right? So I'm gonna snap this to the thing here. And yeah, same here. We're gonna... Actually, yeah, we're gonna get this. Mechanism IK owner, let's place it there. No. Still... Okay, now it's fine. This bone, yeah, we're gonna move here. Yeah, so this bone is less important because the only thing that matters for it is its name. So, because it's not the one having the bone constraint. No, not this. This one also doesn't have. So it doesn't really matter, right? They have the same inverse kinematic settings. So it's just the name and the... So it doesn't really matter. So you can... That will simplify our tasks here. So I'm gonna delete this one. Nah, let's delete this one here. Because it will be easier to... Okay, then we reset here. We're gonna subdivide. We're gonna try to... Yeah, so this is... have to rename as they were, and now we need to grab here normal, rotate along the z-axis, yeah, the z, but the z-axis is wrong, so we're gonna actually reset these roles, and let's do something like this, right? I'll keep them aligned to simplify everything, maybe it's better. And then rotate, I think it's the X now, yeah, something like that. I can't find the joint here to match exactly on the face, because that will be on the faces, right, of the mesh. But that's okay, this is just an approximation, because then I will lose the alignment, right? It's IK, it's garbage, right? So we need to be careful. IK bond constrained. You know, this is not really a problem with inverse key, the auto IK option on pose mode for the, which the control IK chain doesn't need, which is more versatile, it doesn't need to be straightened up in order to react differently. So what I can do now is that I can bend this in, should be able to, yeah, to bend this. It's a bit difficult, but yeah, we can, yeah, we can manipulate this and do this, but here I cheat, right? The idea is to be able to bend this in both, yeah, it's bad, but we can do it. Another way to achieve this, maybe it's a pole, using a pole target, which well, why not? It's a, never tried for, I tried for the eyebrow, it's bad, but maybe here is not too bad. We want the z-axis aligned, right? So we're gonna, so it's like a positive dx, right? It's I don't know, negative 90 degrees, don't know, whichever 90 degrees here. So let's try something crazy here. We're gonna add a bone from here. We're gonna align this with that. We're gonna make this into a, yeah, gonna, let's change this to a stick bone, and let's move it like forward. Is there anything of value here? No, just stick is enough, yeah. Octahedral maybe. Yeah, octahedral. Okay, so this is a pole eyelid top. It's a pole target. The parent of this thing could be the mechanism. I don't know the parent of this thing. Okay, mechanism head. IK owner head, that's it. We're gonna duplicate, yeah, I'm gonna do that later. It's just, so we need now to check here. I think it's negative, it's positive 90. There we go. So okay, so it's like why would you even care about that? Yeah, but we can, yeah. So this is a way to improve the automation. Okay, ignore the skinning, but yeah, so this is actually useful if it is not, if it were not, okay, the of course the rig is offset, so this is very easy to reposition, right? So we can save here, think that we're making progress. So now the deafen the buffer bone, right? So so what the, because I think this is not a way that, so we need to bring the control, exactly the control, to that position, and for that we need to make, yeah, how would that work actually? Okay, I need to parent this to the, hope these things are not parented in some weird way. Master I key, okay, fair. Might have to change these parentings, but that's okay. So I'm gonna go back here and gonna duplicate this. We're gonna, yeah, we're gonna leave these alignments here. This won't help. Thick one, yeah, so yeah, I know, just the, yeah, no, just the B bone, but so buff eyelid top in. Yeah, let's do like this. And so this one will be parented here. No, no, actually it's not this one will be more complicated, right? Hmm. All right, so I the warp setup. I cannot warp the. Oh, what I'm saying. Hold on, much easier. What I need is uh, a tweaker bones here. No, 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 no. Hold on. It's a copy location that I need, or won't do, won't do. There are different strategies. These handles don't have tweakers. These are tweakers, but they are more like controllers. And if I just do a copy location, it won't follow then the rotation. Well, it is parented too, right? So if I snap this there, it will just be inconsistent. Then this bone will be locked. And I cannot use this as a buffer to go there. So I need to... So the technique, or at least this one, so we could do something like this. Start positioning this here. We're gonna actually make this warp. So it'll be a buff warp. Eyelid top in. Yeah, it is wrong. It's not the wrong place. All right, so it starts there, and then we gonna... Yeah, I'm not gonna use this. I'm gonna do a full stuff. Don't mind, here could be just pose space. So there it is warped. Then we need to change the parenting of this thing. So that is the warper. Here we'll need an extra bone to mimic this, but it will not be a control bone. It will be a buffer of the buffer warp bone. So it will get this joint, but not in any crazy way. There are still limitations to this, but we can probably get it, the basic, to work. We're just gonna displace this. Maybe then we just have to change the... Yeah, then we just change this setup here. Oh no, we can't manipulate them. Yeah, so this is getting a bit more trickier. I need to see how I have solved this otherwise. But anyways, then we're gonna move the... Okay, then what we need to do is just change the parent here. Because this is warping from parenting relation. You just parent the bone instead of this parent to the one that is warping. And then it warps as well. And it's free to move. So, and then we need to do this for all the rest, right? Now you have this set up. I don't want this. It's cool, but I don't want the custom shape for a mechanism bone. I think this is confusing. And then you would like to have this for everything, and no. So then we're gonna do this, but for outer, and we're gonna place it there, and we're going to first the parent. Okay, their parent doesn't really matter. Could be this parent, but the parent doesn't, we don't care about. So we're gonna... Oh yeah, it's a duplicate. It's there, so incorrect. We're just gonna change the target here. And then we change the parenting here. Yes. If this just moves there... Oh yeah, you see the tough... Okay, it's smart setup, right? Of course, the bendy bone splines, they auto-adapt. It might not be the perfect curvature, but it will be the curvature that would have on... by posing, like I've just posed here. So we need to retweak. The problem is that this will be the new rest pose, and so not rest position, right? But on pose mode, rest pose. So it would be good if we had yeah, but I don't want these things to have any... But we could add, but that would super complicate it. If the shape is good enough, we can, yeah, without artifacts, but this is another problem. Then I think it will be good enough, right? And then we just need to reposition this in some ways. I didn't know this could have this effect on the eyelashes, but it's not super thrilling because I have already this automation solved by something else if I fix the rig, the eyelash rig. But here, okay, so we need now to create this other, and this will be a bit more annoying because we'll require two bones, so it's like this and this. So this will just buff eyelid top mid. And yeah, it's parented. Yeah, you can parent it here. No, the parent should be. Oh yeah, what to do with this one? No, exactly, parent it here. So this is special. And this is parent there, but then it got the bone constraint towards this other target. Pose mode. Here you got okay, I'm gonna there it is. So now it is a buffer warp. It doesn't start there actually, it starts here. And we parent this to, yeah, you'll see. So here now nothing is happening. But as soon as I parent this to the buffer warp, the control bone warps and it is then free to move. And then we got, oh, this is very interesting, right? Because we can change the curvature and the eyelash follow-up. I just found that this, not sure this is great, but yeah, what's happening is that these are rotating all the eyelashes. Helper bone, yeah, the deformed eyelashes. This is why it's causing all this effect. Because this is moving parent bones of everything, right? So this is can be a bit dangerous. But anyways, we are getting the I'm trying to invert the curvature. It's hard without this, but this is much simpler, right? That's why this is like arbitrary, this, but it's a cool automation actually, right? Why not have something like this, right? This one doesn't have this kind of control, right? For the eyelash, the eyelashes automate through other methods, so it's a cool little thing. The problem is that it stays there, right? So this can be a problem for if we pose. Yeah, this is actually a problem. Let's see. Is it a problem for the eye keychain? If I want to close the oh yes, I can't close with this. So there is a little problem here. Now if I want to close, I need a... Yeah, currently it's very hard to select anything here, but... Why we're having... Of course, because the other bones have wrong parentings. We still need to fix some stuff there. Now they are here. So what is the problem? Okay, I think this pole target is dangerous. Right? Here is more straightforward. It's funny, it was funny, but Maybe there's some. Yeah, you see, I wasn't able to do that because the pole target would stay in place. I'd have to maintain it always aligned, but of course that will create dependency loops, dependency cycle. I know how to automate that, but then you need another setup for that, right? Stretch to mechanism. Let's try. So it's actually not too complicated. Let's shift D this bone. Let's change the stick. Let's also grab there. Let's align this with the first one. Why not? Not align, but yeah. The roll. Okay, already rolled. And then this will be parented. Yeah, same parent as this one. Okay. Then you have a stretch to bone constraint to this. Okay. So this will prevent dependency cycles because of the parenting. And then, okay, this will be I think the position here doesn't change. We just parent this to this contraption. This is called a out. Yeah, whatever, something like this. I don't remember how I call this stuff lately. Also, let's not let's bring it a special color. And now let's investigate. Okay, the pole target is moving out together, and we can. Okay, actually, not so fast. We're gonna check here. Control V. Okay, the deforms ignore, but okay, it's straight, and we can then do the crazy stuff. Not really affecting the. Oh, of course, this does this, right? Aha, actually this is super cool, right? Well, actually it's not super necessary. No, it is necessary. Okay, so you see, it doesn't bend the direction I want, so I do this, and then we have the chain to better setup. And move here. We got the. Aha. I never knew that setup, so that would be good for the eyelids rigging and even eyelash. It has some interesting. Maybe it can be. Yeah, it's seems to be good stuff. I think I'll maintain this. So just discovered today this new feature. This will create some rotation. It's gonna be dangerous. Okay. We shouldn't be able to rotate these bones, actually. Okay. It's not the same thing, right? Doing from here or from here. This is exactly for these more other kinds of manipulations, right? But whatever, it's just an option. I'm afraid that this will be a bit too complicated to pose with all these bones, but what we do here is let's move this forward. Of course, here is all the rig, the eyelids rig, the skeleton. So we don't need just the. We just need a few bones here for the control rig. And now we need to reproduce this contraption for the bottom. So it's just the same stuff. So we can, in this case, we can duplicate all of these. The new bones are these ones. Shift D. But we're gonna F2B instead of top bot, and we're gonna strip characters, and there we go. Looks like we forgot to change this one. And of course, in the end, we symmetrize. Now I have a problem with, yeah, this thing is very tedious. We are going to... Yeah, let's do the first easiest thing first. These have the same parenting. Okay, this one is... we have to find the good repositioning, right, of these ones first. So here I'm a bit unsure, but yeah, it's the eyes open. We'll have to investigate what we should do here. I see that possibly this line should be... Okay, let's... whatever, let's place it here for now. It could have a problem here for the... Yeah. Let's try this. It's a bit crazy, but no, it's not crazy. Okay, then we get this one, and we gonna push this here. Gonna try to... Here's that problem, which... the straight line. Oh yeah, I have a problem. More problem, because this is character design thing. Okay, so let's not do this one. Let's try to maintain it straight here. I might barely move this one. You know what, maybe... Now let's make the setup, but let's make it very close, whatever. Yeah, I have some questions here. What should be better, but okay, let's try this. And here, gonna delete this. We're gonna place there. We're gonna check this thing here. And then we're gonna subdivide, rename, and parent here. Keep offset. This should be connected here. Yes, it is. Double checking here. Yes, it is. So we need to then find this this one. Okay, we need to do the normal thing. Rotate X. Okay, this sounds sufficient. And then we gonna parent this here. Keep offset. Find the joint. Move it there. Then we gonna get this one with the copy transforms to this one. Well, it's already worked, okay. And then just parent here. Something wrong. Oh no, this is wrong. So this one we need to place it. Oh yeah, forget. I'm gonna place it there. And we're gonna copy transforms. Pose spaces. There we go. Then we need to check this one. It has the wrong target, so we need to parent here, parent here, move it to that position, move it to that position, and then we're gonna get this one to pick this name, pick this bone, pose mode, change target, pick this name, edit mode, find the buffer here, and pose mode, copy, paste. Yeah, paste, just paste. Okay, so you end up having a straight here that is not very good, right? So this is the character design thing. Oh yes, yes. So this is the problem. So I'll have to sacrifice the curvature of the. But maybe this is not too bad because now we have this, right? So we can force the bending direction somewhat. Yeah, it's like a. It's not ideal, but the fact is that I don't want to offset this bone. Like then I have another. Yeah, there will be one way to do it, right? It's very stupid, but more bones, right? It's the least thing you want. So, but. Well, not the least thing, right? But it's pretty annoying. So we could have a parent bone to exactly the position we want. And so that parent bone will be just an offset. So that we have just this. But then, of course... this will mean that the Yeah, so there are a lot of things here that are tricky. But if I can just get this thing here, that the I keychain is so hard to... I have to delete the bone to get this orientation, right? That I'm not sure I want to do this. So I need to test if the bending direction here is usable. Okay, this is very dangerous, right? I key stretch. I need to test if the... I can also bend by posing the... There are different ways to solve this. These bones, we don't see it usually. Why I can't pose this thing? Okay, let's make the pole target again. Okay, that's set up. So it's just this thing. Reset. Okay, that is nice. Then we have this bone here. We're gonna duplicate. So it'll be called bot, and we're gonna place it exactly there, and then we can long normal, move forward, and change the parent to this. And of course, okay, maybe starting out. Okay, this is another solution. But no, it will... No. It will make the rig less regular. Make the rest position less regular, so it's not good. The rest pose, I mean, for the control rig, so the animator won't be able to reset this bone to get this thing straightened up. So it's more like same here, right? So here I'm in a little trouble with this dispute, because whichever I do, I ended up having... I have to think more about this, what should be ideal here. But yeah, I've been through a lot here. We can symmetrize this pretty much now. Still need to fix the waves, and because right now it's horrid. But it's a funny results. I won't consider absolutely a rig improvement, because you don't need all this stuff to make this work. You just need the bendy bone splines, right? But yeah, it unpose assets, right? Of course, yeah, the bendy bone splines and the tweaker, which are the controls. This is all you need. The rest is like just extras that are headache, or if they work, okay, then maybe you get a prize. But rigging prize. Yeah, this is terrible. Urgent to fix this, but I don't have the patience now to do this. Let's try to visualize only the control rig here. Extend. There is more control rig at these ones. Okay, let's move this to control. No, not control, to face. Okay, control face, whatever. So let's look at control face. So this, let's assume we just have these ones, then yeah, now it's clean, right? To look. It's not terrible. No, actually, this is an interesting interesting controlling addition. Okay, I still have the same thing that I had originally, but this part here is a bit messed up, of course. The too much stretched mesh here. I need to find a way to address here. Maybe this control should have some rotations there. We got a problem with the depth warp indeed. It will be good if you have a state, like it will be keyframes, but this is a pose asset thing, right? And you could reset the, yeah, so this is like a pose asset. So but I think I have another, I think I have a trick here. This trick, let's say that this is very annoying, but it's feasible. Like, for example, let's say that, okay, this is the rest position. Okay, let's get this one bone here without no, that won't work. It will be a constant transform, so it will be added automatically. It will be stacking. Yeah, it won't be able to reset it. Yeah, it's different from the pose asset. So this pose asset is still the real stuff there to do lots of rigging stuff, right? What you don't want is to be able to, so if to prevent the buffer bones to have those effects, one way to, either I unparent these control bones, either I go to the here and get all these Let's change, there's too many colors here. As are like mappers. Yeah, these are more like mappers. So I would have to let's say I were to change this to another color. Yeah, let's do this one. Okay, and then these ones, we just disable these bound constraints, and immediately what we have is that the rest position is this one. So then you click, you have the pose asset to open the eye. So it's not good to have the character. Yeah, you have to do this all the time. This is why the def warp would come in handy here. But I'm doing this here to test the deforms here and see the state of it. Apparently we got some arrangement, yeah, fixings to do on the... Okay. Yeah. It will be good. Maybe it will be a better idea to keep it simple. So all this, lot of stuff that I've made here was actually not really necessary. They just complicate stuff. They take more time. It's cool, but I'm not sure that it is that good that it needs to exist, right? So, but the rest, I need still to find the... Okay, let's revalidate this. All right. Yeah, like you have the open eye, but yeah, this is not a good setup. You have to still click the pose asset. I'm thinking what... So one alternative will be just to fix that. Yeah, I think that will be the way to go. So I'll have to just tweak this and sacrifice this this curvature, that thing. So all right, so here we still don't have these rotations, which for certain posings... Well, actually it's not this, is actually this. So maybe this dumped track. That's happening here. Handle top one. Yeah, this one. Wait, is... Possibly it's because of the orientation of it. Is the curve? It's because of the curvature of the eye surface. Yeah. So I was expecting something more like this, but that's okay. It seems to be usable. Yeah, it's a little better now. Let's check what happens if we let's see what happens if we just change this. Okay, what happened now? Okay, this happens, right? But if I move this down, yeah, we don't really have a good. There is a lose in, yeah, somewhat loss in the automation here. The only we could still, if we rotated here, then yes, we could get, but then we need to see the mechanism rig, and this is the yeah. So there are a lot of questions here that are hard problems to, actually not hard problems, but they are conceptually very weird. Just to have that skinning improved. Yeah, so I've sacrificed one feature. This is almost rendered useless now. Very hard to manipulate at this point. You need to move the eyelash a lot. I think I haven't saved. Okay, I haven't saved, so yeah, it's not that this is so much better, but yeah, it is slightly easier to get that result. And yeah, if I what bad would be to have this thing here with a parent buffer? Well, it will be bad because then when I start to close, I wouldn't be able to reset this thing. It will reset always here instead of straight, and then the, not that I want always the closed shape to be like this, but yeah, the root thing is always the problem. What is towards the root in rigging, right? So like in this case, there are, of course, the rest position of the armatures, the skeleton, and then there's the rest pose, which can also have its own root. So I cannot sacrifice the root for any shit. I need somewhat. Yeah, I need some sort of auto pose asset. That was the thing, like you reset and you get to a, or it's a secondary reset, right? It's a pose asset reset. Which is done by just clicking the pose asset, right? But for intuitive rig is not like the greatest thing, right? I have to have the pose assets in order to really see. What I don't want is to have there's another. Let's see, even isn't there anything that can add? But as you reset, no, there's doesn't. Yeah, so I'm stuck here with some questions. If I had just to, yeah, if I deleted the the problem is the straight I key chain, right? Okay, so another then. Maybe the best thing will be to do this, just this, yeah. So we will have the straight I key chain for the control, but we'll have to the rest. We'll have this special offsettings here, so it's like we'll just do a combo parenting here, so it's like a parent this to this. We're gonna, this is the secondary, yeah, and then we parent this to this, but we're gonna get this one. Yeah, it's a strange positioning, but let's say this. No, that's what's went wrong here. Of course, we need to no bone constraints here. Well, there's no bone constraints. Oh, I see what's going on. Okay, we need this to be here, I guess. Okay, and then this goes okay, so and something goes wild there, unexpected. Yeah, this thing is not, yeah, it should. There's a different problem. Yeah, if I start to displace everything, I have the same problem. So I need actually this needs to be a different buffer bone. Okay, at least these are easy to reposition, no problem here. So it's like have a mapper of a mapper, something like that. I need to. So why even need something here then? Yeah, I don't need this. It's just this. There. Okay, so this is garbage. Let's also change some names here. We use the mid here. So instead of yeah, actually instead of bot we add and instead of top mid, and then we also strip characters. There we go. No, bones, right? Right, what about these ones? Okay, the handles. No, the handles are. Yeah, so here. Maybe it wasn't not a good idea. Maybe for the. Yeah, the control rig it's okay. But this is already the deform rig. Yeah, so. Though I changed the mechanism also. But this is for organization, yeah, so. This is a sequence, right? Yeah, so the sequence can be treated differently. Yeah, it makes sense, okay. But illogical. So you can at will on demand reposition this for the best positioning of that right? So we can not shape but decide, right, what will be the. And here of course if I had to reposition this it will be very complicated. So here we're gonna, unless I had another bone like that, maybe to. Anyways, then if I want to straighten up I can do this, right? So yeah, this is good. Okay, it's because this is the natural and this doesn't help skinning, so it's not for skinning. It's just okay, so this is the solution. So I cannot reset, but I can still bring it. This is the natural pose for. I can straighten up and then we can find the optimal. We want something. So it's kind of funny, right? Yeah, we can do crazy stuff. Let's see this now. Still, yeah, not working very well, but this is more for the. Yeah, very tiny, more in this case, right? Here you get better, easier results from. Yeah, this is much stronger. Okay, this can temporarily we can use to manipulate the eyelash maybe. So it's not super thrilling. And this is like the typical bendy bone spline setup, right? So you can just get those things, do very freely the shape. And then of course if we have pose assets, then we can have presets for all goods. The eyelashes are not showing right now, so we're gonna do same here. We're gonna just reposition this bone here to some position that matters for the rest pose of the character design, like this, maybe this. We could snap this one indeed. Yeah, let's use the snapping here. Just the face, yeah, just so I'm gonna try to snap. Same for here. So this is the good thing about this warp depth setup, is that you just need to do this kind of thing, and voila, you have the repositioning of the probably if you would like to be looking all the time, you'll need to be using, I guess, this thing. No, this doesn't work. Okay, this just for edit mode of the mesh object, not of the armature object. So I still need to be swapping here. Another way is just to know, okay, where the pose gets good, then let's reset the rotation. Yeah, maybe about here. So also snapping. So I got this point, and then we move this there, and that's it. And there we go. So, and that kind of solved the setup, even though the armature setup, right, for the eyelids, although there are many artifacts here need to be readjusted. I don't know what's happening here to the top eyelash. It seems to be going a bit wild. And what's happened to this bone here? I think I got some wrong alignments. No. This mapper, no, what? Parent to the, okay, it's, I see it sufferings from its parent, right? Maybe just a copy location them? Maybe. Okay, let's do a It doesn't react to... It only reacts to indirect direct from the... Let's try different parenting then. Or I just create a bone there to be the parent of this thing. Yeah, interesting. Now this doesn't affect the... why the bone stopped affecting the... It's because of the parenting, yeah, the parenting relation. I broke the... Everything there is parented, right? Copy transforms. Usually something was parented there. Okay, so let's just do the other setup. Gonna add a and yet another of this. Okay, and this way we don't have the twist, like the weird tweaking there. So okay, then this now becomes the... Okay, and so how we call this will be the... Yeah, like a buffer. It's not a buff warp. Still something. Okay, then. Okay, why the I key chain seems to be locked? Let's reset this. No, it's not. It is. It is doing some. Okay, it is working, but it's a bit tricky. So much better to keep simple, maybe. But now I have this, I think. Yeah, I don't think I want to implement this like in a final rig, just to. Unfortunately, yeah, it just takes too much to build this setup for very tiny cool tricks that it's like unless it will be absolutely necessary. Because then you have to sometime make some fix, and then you have to do this for all these bones. So it's like it's the smart that is dumb. While if you just have the bendy bone splines and just a lot of this could be avoided, right? So it's cool to have achieved this for me at least once, to see the impact and to have assessment, right, of the features of what the rig can do and what we can achieve. But in terms of maintenance, it's like a bit nightmarish, to say the least. So it's a good practice, I think, is to would be to simplify, right? To keep simplifying whatever you can. So if I wouldn't be using the IK bone constraints, if the inverse, the auto IK option here in Blender would be so much better that we could mimic that without any needing of at least those IK changes, cause a lot of problems already for other setups. So I can save this as a backup, right? That the experiment worked to some extent, and then I just delete it and simplify. Yeah, I have to think about it. Okay, so now all we need to do is this last one. Yeah, we're gonna duplicate this one. We're gonna change the target for this. We're gonna, the parent is the same. We're gonna rename it to bot mid left, and then we, of course, we're gonna change its positioning, and now we need to parent this thing, I think. Yeah, to the, so parent this to this, and then it stops unaligning the bone. And then of course we get everything here, and we're gonna resymmetrize. Some rest position here is not very good. The eye is here and not helping. Yeah, it's actually this bone is also not very positive. But see, then I have to reposition everything. It's just not practical. This is not the nice rest position, right? Oh, the rest position is that. Okay, so hold on. I was doing it wrong. There are. Okay, sure, something. The I was not getting the correct resets. The pose was not resetted. Okay, something like that. Is good enough. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, this is perfect. No, not perfect. It's just good enough for now. Although we have lots of more fixes to do now with the this thing in the eyelash. So let's just make a quick test here. I'm curious because I haven't yet figured out what was causing some issues in the this will break the this could break the shape keys, but as I'm gonna save. Okay, let's dissolve this. What's happening here? Okay, big face there. All right. Okay, so it don't want to collaborate. Okay, so this is how I used to do. Just maybe in the corner there will be another, but another thing. But here we'll have something about the object modifiers. Okay, so you see this is very good shape. So there's no artifacts going on, the crazy stuff. Let's enable some. Yeah, even disable. I don't know, let's disable everything here. Just the eyelashes. Push this, this shrink wrap eyelids, but apparently it has an effect there, okay. This one, this have to probably this one I'm gonna use, but let's so this should be working. Why I decide to make this whole now, I just don't get it if it's here it is. Apparently here we got some. No, nothing wrong. It's just not confusing about this bone. So you see, very good. This because the automation for the eyelashes already is still working, even though it needs some adjustments. And so with the subdivision, then okay, this seems to work for the most part, but then it starts to break in some ugly ways. I think this is shrink wrapping. All right. Eyelash pushes, okay. Oh, I see. It's something about the combination of the it's hard to okay. Shrink wrap eyelids, absolutely necessary. Okay. Then you have eyelash pushes. This one is not important. This one is not important. And when comes the subdivision, could it be because of this order here that I... No, it's... It's not relevant. So it could be the stack order, right? Let's leave it before. No, then after all the eye shrink wrap. Ah, there we go. So the way it was ordered maybe mattered for the artifacts there. So giving all of this stuff, I was favorizing just the shrink wrap. It needs to come after to improve this eye stuff, to get them synchronized. I think that's interesting. Okay, let's load and... So I think I finally discovered what I was doing wrong for some effects here. Let's see. So bring this here. Yeah, for the top we don't see effect, but here is clearly, yeah, subdivide after the shrink wrappings. In this case is better because we are pretty much based on some positionings here. Maybe it's the setup of position to the snapping, which is more straightforward, right? If you push this mesh over or before, behind, or that could make some different change. Okay, and also something weird about these positionings. Yeah, this is very bad actually. I haven't realized it before, so probably need to fix. We can fix some crazy thing about Why these things? Oh, I've made the change to this mesh, possibly. Well, whatever is the case, we want to. Okay, this is not. Oh, it is working. Okay, maybe I'm just using the wrong visualization. Let's go back. No textures here. So indeed we have problems with the UVs. Let's change here. Yeah, already fixed. This is absolutely needs some notes taking. So this eyelids, eyelashes, object modifier stack order artifacts. Yeah, actually we are just keep the subdivision surface modifier after all the shrink wrap eyelids, borders, eyelashes, push. Yes, that's it. Finally found. Well, it's just a little detail, but I was trying to do something different, and then it was messing up the rig setup. Alright, so we have made big progress here, which was changing the rest position for the eyes. Here. And this is best for the will be better for the deforms, the skinning in the character design. Alright folks, so for today I think this was it. I don't like that it appears like the eye is not there, but there's nothing I can do now easily because the snapping feature doesn't work like shrink wrapping or even some tricks of retopology where you can, or grease pencil that you can draw on top of objects, like with a shrink wrapping distance. So this is a feature that needs to be added. But for now, folks, I'm satisfied with the results. We got some major improvements here. We just need to, yeah, probably readjusting some mesh and waves. It's very time consuming. And yeah, I'm probably gonna get rid of this these contraptions because it doesn't pay off in the end. I think the eye key bone constraint mechanism, very a shame, but what can I do? It's just too hard to maintain, and the benefits are very little. For I'm still patient and hopeful when I post this thing that it could be useful, but it's just an experiment that shows some relevance, but maybe something similar like this, where it could come in handy in the future, but for this it's still not on the point. So yeah, I better get rid of this, so even I'll remember soon. So thanks for watching, folks. Take care and happy blendering. Have a nice week to come, and hope that was inspiring and can provide some inspiration in learning in rigging, organic rigging Blender. Thanks. See you soon. See you next day. I'll be doing every day back to normal finally. I hope so. See ya, folks.